So this is going to be a literal and visual documentation of my questions before I read three books by Brian Withers. There's the Book of Life, there's the Harmony in Relationships book, and then there's the Harmony in Personal Happiness book. The three books all may offer completely different things. My questions, and I'm going to write this down, and this will be something I also have in the written form, is what is comfort? Is that something that is, in a sense, like, is that okay to have as a person? Can you be comfortable, and is it okay to accept that in your life? I guess the reason why I'd be asking is because I just read a quote that said that it's not good to be comfortable, and I'm sitting here wondering why. And I only ask that in the sense, where and to what degree would you be comfortable with, and where and for what? Another question I have before I read the books is, how in the respect of having goals, how does that work? How does someone with goals do like the whole receiving thing with the goals? Is it simply that the idea in itself is essentially created based off of the desire for, some would call it, expansion or appreciation or movement towards more, having more, but that would also be being more. And so in that sense, it's the essence of, can goals be something that you're both detached from and something that is you who's receiving those goals? And with that is the notion of, because this is my this is my thinking around the books too, is anyone could read the books, but for them to resonate with a message or to act on inspiration is a completely different thing. And what I also recognize is, how does someone know that they're ready to engage with the books? Because another thing I also realize is, I've bought the books. Is that in itself the is that me realizing that I have the door in front of me, and then reading the books and studying the books is both me walking in through, and also realizing that I could walk back out, as in stop reading the books or just not pick up anything from the books, period. But then I also realize that by being a practitioner and being someone who's learning about the books, in that sense, is essentially realizing that the door isn't there anymore, and that the door wasn't really real. It's almost like as if the door was put into in a desert, and physically having the door wouldn't change the fact that you're still in the same room. So maybe I should be writing this down as I'm saying it. So the first one was, we'll put this in I have all these places to be putting these notes in. August. How did that get there? Books by Brian. Today is the 24th of 2025. Questions prior to reading. Is it okay to be comfortable? What is the point of setting goals? I wonder how Brian came up with the books. And I mean the material, the substance. Did he just wake up one day and was like, I'm going to write this book? Did he just wake up one day and realize, like, wow, I could look at the world like this? Because I also don't know anything about the guy. All I know is that he shows up on my YouTube, and that by the common means of the exchange of goods and services, you can have like a discussion with the guy. But I wonder how he got to that point in the books, because I resonate with his message in this sense that there's certain things that he says, like you could always be happy kind of stuff, where I was like, wait, I realized that when I was a child, and then I was able to articulate it in my teenage years as I was becoming a more independent person, and then now that I'm sitting here being like, okay, what else? Maybe I could expand upon my own personal way of the world. So I'm making this video purely based off of the essence of who I am right now is a little bit different today than it was like a month ago. Now I'm sitting here being like, okay, I'm actually looking forward to taking the time to read these things, these books. Because as I have more questions, it's just that for whatever reason, those are the only questions that I can come up with. And I realized that if I can ask the guy questions, it's one thing. But I could also just go and read the books to see if those elements or those topics are going to be addressed in the books. Because for me, I'm also that kind of person where I'm more of like, okay, I'm going to stop what I'm doing and I'm going to look at someone else do it. And if I could pick something up based off of what you're doing, whether I should implement it or not implement it, then I'll just go ahead and do that. I realized that that same process could happen with these books. I'd rather just go read the book And then, should I have a question about said book, then I can say, hey, on page 147, what did you mean by the you already have everything, right? So, yeah. If I come up with anything, then it'll be maybe something I write down. But until then, take care. All the best.